one of the first relationships that we build is the relationship with the unknown, the space that is not filled yet. When we start to fill this space with experiences, especially experiences through the eyes of an inexperienced human, a child, we tend to create all sorts of conclusions, fantastical conclusions. We experience things on such a great scale. For example, as a child, everything seems bigger. And when you come to the same thing with an adult perspective, everything seems a lot smaller. Like, have you ever been to a place where you grew up and you haven't been back since you were a kid? And in your memory, this place was huge. But then when you got back there, it's not as big as you thought. Well, it's the same thing with experiences. And the experiences with relationship with the unknown. So when we project into the space that hasn't been filled, projecting things from when we were little and when things overwhelmed us, when things were scary or out of control, when we didn't have a lot of choices. So we learn to project these experiences into that space of unknown. We want to try to predict what could happen, but we're doing it through the eyes of a child. And so when you look into the space of unknown, do you see a dark, scary abyss, or do you see a bright potential? Right? And so what I pose to you is this, is that when you step into that space of the unknown, outside of our comfort zone, because comfort to us is something that is known. It's not necessarily comfortable, because a lot of things that are in our comfort zone are not necessarily comfortable. It's things that are familiar, right? So being in an abusive relationship can be comfortable because it's familiar, but it is uncomfortable because it's unloving. But we choose to stay in relationships or situations, circumstances that are familiar, even though they're uncomfortable, because familiar to us feels more comfortable than unfamiliar. So what are you projecting into that unknown? Are you projecting the abyss, or are you projecting potential? And if you are projecting abyss and you're projecting fear into the unknown, what are the stories and how big are they? And I would say maybe it's worth starting to question those stories, right? Maybe it's starting to reassess that reality from a new adult perspective.